It's Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan with Cricbuzz chatter at the end of the first day at the GS Bowl, the second test match between England and Pakistan. Pakistan elected to bat first after winning the toss. They're 126 for 5 overnight. There were 3 sessions, there were 5 wickets, there were about 25 rain delays, but all told, Vaughanie, the story of the day is that old man James Anderson, all but written off in some quarters after the last test match, picks up the first 2 wickets and shows he's utter class.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wrote him off. I think it was fair to suggest that Jimmy Anderson wasn't quite at his best in that first test against Pakistan. I guess from his own high standards, he had a game that wasn't quite, at his best. He didn't quite get the ball in the right zone often enough. Thought he bowled well with the new ball last week. With the older ball, he just didn't seem to have that zip. Looked a little bit fragile and old in the field. So, look, when you're 38 years of age, he's got to accept that there's going to be the odd report suggesting that he may be coming to an end. He is doing. He's only got 1 or 2 years left in the game. Has he still got a lot to offer the England team? Absolutely, because he may not have got the wickets, but just having him at mid-on, mid-off, when Broad's bowling, when Woakes is bowling, when Jofra Archer's bowling, when Sam Curran's bowling, he has to be having an effect on the team. So you don't want to get rid of someone that's desperate to carry on playing when they still can contribute. Even if it's not in the wicket column, he's contributing in other areas. So it didn't surprise me that he got that first. It was a beauty to Shan Masood. Could have had another couple, bowled better than the probably 2 that he got. I thought England today were typical kind of English bowlers, bowling when the ball's zipping around, perfect conditions. Could quite easily have had a few more wickets.
So as far as selection's concerned, they went with Sam Curran rather than one of the 2 quicks, Jofra Archer or Mark Wood. So that's a real sign they want to win this week. They want to win this series. And sure enough, it was Sam Curran. Everything he touches seemingly turns to gold in this country. Getting the big wicket of Abid Ali, who'd been dropped a couple of times, but Curran into the attack, finds the outside edge, and that's the defining wicket of the day.
Yeah, Sam Curran with the Duke ball in English conditions is a wonderful cricketer. He's won 8 test matches playing here in the UK. He just knows how to bowl with this ball. He'll contribute with the bat. I have no question with that as well. In one of the innings, he'll create a little bit of chaos. He'll change momentum because that's the kind of cricketer that he is. I do think England have got lost. I think they've got lost in terms of where they were in that first test against the West Indies, trying to build for now, but also for building for the future with the 2 pacers that played. I think they've gone against what they're trying to achieve in the long term by just completely focusing on the here and now. And I think it's a fine balance. I really do think that England should have gone with 1 pace bowler. When you've got Anderson, when you've got Broad, when you've got Woakes, Sam Curran is a difference. His left arm, of course, he can have an effect. But, I would personally have gone with at least Jofra Archer or Mark Wood. I think England have to give those players as many test matches as possible if they want to try and win the big series away from home in India, and particularly. We keep talking about it, but it's been a set in stone by this management of the England side that they're looking to make sure that by the time England arrive in Australia in a year and a half's time, just under, they're prepared, they're ready, and they've got the right attacks for those kind of wickets. And I think they have to be playing a quick bowler every single week to just give that bowler, whether it's Jofra, whether it's Mark Wood, enough experience. By the time they do get to Australia, they've pretty much got all the bases covered. This is an English week. It's an English attack that you just know when the lights are on, the clouds are around, it's going to do a job. But is it doing a job preparing England to win those test matches overseas? I'm not so sure.
At one stage today, Pakistan were 78 for 1. They're 126 for 5 at the close. They lost a clatter of wickets in those interrupted 2 sessions at the middle and the end of the day before bad light and subsequently rain got them off the field. Fawad Alam's a fascinating story. His previous test match was in 2009. The big 4, if you like, the Fab 4 of Virat Kohli, Stephen Smith, Joe Root, Kane Williamson hadn't played a test match yet. There have been 27 batsmen picked ahead of him for Pakistan since. He was one of the men that fell today in that streak, but a great story nonetheless.
Yeah, great story, but I've no idea why Pakistan have picked him. Shadab Khan for me is a wonderful cricketer. I see Shadab Khan potentially being the next captain of Pakistan. Whether that's had a little bit of a say in the reason why he's not playing, only Pakistan can give us the answers to that. But when you've got a batsman like Shadab Khan, who's actually scored decent runs in English conditions, he can bowl leg spin, he's a brilliant fielder, he's an energiser, great in the team bubble, he's a cricket thinker. I just don't understand why they've made that decision to bring in a guy that's not played for 11 years. He's 34 years of age. It's very typical of what Pakistan do, but with that technique, he's basically facing the wrong way when the ball's being delivered. Now, if the ball's moving an inch, he's going to get out. And I just think it's a kind of a typical Pakistan selection. You know, it's been one of those players that the Pakistan public have been crying out for many years to try and get him in the side. He's been averaging well over 50 in their domestic competition. I don't think this was the time to play Fawad Alam. I'd have stuck with Shadab Khan because of his all-round quality. And having seen him bat, I can pretty much guarantee that Shadab potentially would get more runs than Fawad Alam as well, and bowl some leg spin, take a catch or two, potentially create a run out, and be a great team person. So a bit confused by that selection.
And predictably, Broad and Wokes were in there at the end taking wickets as well. Okay, Vaughan, let's go into the hot spot. In the hot spot, England slips catching. Rory Burns put one down. Dom Sibley put one down. There have been a lot of chances that have gone down this summer. I read one report on Twitter today saying that they almost seem surprised when they do take them. How are you seeing it? And technically, having obviously been involved in catching positions in your playing days, how are you analysing their work at the moment?
Well, I'm certainly not the person you should be talking to about catches because I drop many, but I can see a good cordon when I watch a game of cricket, and England's cordon isn't a great one. Purely because of the setup's not right. They don't spread themselves out enough. They don't stagger themselves enough to give themselves space to be able to manoeuvre. Naturally, they don't look like they catch the ball. You know, I look at great fields. Men like Mark Waugh, Graham Swan was a brilliant second slipper. They just catch the ball naturally. It just kind of melts into the hands. You're right. I think it is a surprise when he sticks. You know, and I think it's a surprise for the bowlers, but the one positive here on a pitch like this, you're going to get lots of opportunity, lots of chances to practice, lots of chances to put right what was wrong. Rory Burns, Dom Sibley, you know. But it's things like that. If England want to be the best team in the world, and that is what they're trying to achieve in the long term, the coaches and the captain will know that corner has to be a more settled one, and it has to be a more confident one for the bowlers to know that as soon as you get the outside edge, Steve Smith in a year and a half time, if he snicks one to second slip, third slip, fourth slip, it has to be taken. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I guess the good news is that both Sibley and Burns were able to redeem themselves later in the day. And pressing fast forward, I don't know how often we've said the next morning's crucial for the away team, but it's Babar Azam, isn't it? 25 not out at the close, going just nicely. But could tomorrow be the day that he plays the defining innings in this country, which can set Pakistan up?
Well, the last time we bigged him up, he was out for naught the following morning. So I guess he'll be saying, shut up, don't say too much in terms of positivity. Look, he's got to get his team to over 200, 225 on a pitch that we've seen do plenty. 225, 250 is going to be a decent score, and that's what Pakistan have to look to try and get another 100, then throw the ball to the likes of Naseem Shah, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and obviously Mohammad Abbas on that pitch with it wobbling around. He's going to be a handful. So 225, 250, Pakistan are right in the test match, but it will take Babar Azam, you feel, to get to a 70 or 80. If he gets 100 on this wicket against this England attack on the pitch that we've seen today, I think it's going to be a very special ton. And if he does that, Pakistan will probably get near 300. But I think 225, 250 is very competitive.
Indeed, if he can, it'll be a special day, of course, being Pakistan Independence Day on Friday, which we'll be following throughout the day on the Cricbuzz live blog. And then it stumps on day 2. Adam Collins, Michael Vaughan will be here on Cricbuzz Chatter.